Welcome back. In this session, you will learn how to manipulate string in Python. Remember that string is one of the data types in Python. You know, we have different data types in Python, such as integer, float, string, and boolean. We understand that integer is a number without any decimal places, such as 1, 2, 3, -1, 0, and so on. And we also have another data type called float. Float is a number that has decimal places, such as 2.1, 3.7, 4.5, 6.9, and so on. And we have another data type called string. String is a data type in form of text with double quotation. For example, if you look at this hello world, hello Python, so it has quotation hello Python. It's a pure text with double quotation. And we also have another example called Sudan. It's a text with double quotation and so on. So that is string. And for boolean, boolean is always having two values, such as true or false. So in this session, you will learn how to manipulate this string data type. Let's go to the lab session. So I will be using Jupyter Lab notebook. I've already launched it, and I know that you also know how to launch this Jupyter Lab notebook. So I've already prepared the material that we are going to be using in this session. So you can launch it out by coming to this place here. So this folder, Python script and codes. Remember that we always have it on our desktop. So if you download this, you will see it on your desktop. From there, you can click on it in the Jupyter Lab notebook. So by coming here, search for it. This is it, string manipulation. Or you can also open a new Jupyter Lab notebook where you can follow in this class. Remember that we can create a string by having a double quotation or a single quotation. For example, here we have hi, welcome to string manipulation in Python. Welcome to string manipulation in Python. And when you run it by pressing shift and enter, you see it being run. As you can see the result here. Hello, hi, welcome to string manipulation in Python. So sometimes we may have a single quotation in the midst of our text, and to create a string out of that, we have to use double quotation, which is our normal form, and then the normal single quotation, which is in the form of the text. We use it. For example, now if I run this one now, I'm a beginner in Python programming. You see, it works. But if I use a single quotation here and then another single quotation here which close my string, I'm going to have an error, as you can see. So that is why I will prefer you use double quotation throughout, because in your text you may have a single quotation in the midst of it. So I'm going to use double quotation in this form. Double quotation, then I run it. Another example is this: I'm feeling curious. Okay, so that's a string, and you can also run it. And remember, to understand the data type that we have in this string, we can just copy this and then create a new cell. And then you remember the function that we used to check whether a particular data type is a string, boolean, integer, or float. Can you still remember? All right, that is type function. So you just say type and you put the text on it. So now it's, as you can see now, it says that this is a string data type. Okay, so one good thing about the string is that you can get the number of elements or number of text or number of characters in that string. So in this case, we'll be learning a new function called len function, L-E-N, len function, which helps us to get the length of the string that we have in our text. For example, you may want to know the number of alphabets in Python. For example, look at this here, number of alphabet or number of characters that we have in Python. If you can read it, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Python has 6 letters. And to get the number of letters in Python, so we are going to use this function called len, L-E-N, which helps us to get the length of the string or help us to get the number of letters that we have in that our string. So if I run this one now, as you can see, Python has 6 characters. So for example, another one is this one here. Python is simple. So if I want to get the number of characters in this text, Python is simple, I will use len, L-E-N, as you can see. Another one is I'm feeling curious. So I want to know the number of text or number of characters in that string. So I'll just use this one here. As you can see, it's 19. So if I want to create another example, let's say I want to know the number of character in Somalia. Somalia. Don't forget, Somalia is a string data type. So I have to put it in double quotation. Somalia. And then when I run it now, Somalia has 7 characters. So what about this Nigeria country? So let's see. How many characters do we have in the country Nigeria? Nigeria. So Nigeria also has 7 characters. Let's try the last example, which is Uganda. So how many characters do we have in Uganda? Uganda. So Uganda has 6 characters. So that is how to check the number of the number of characters in our string. So we can also do some string manipulation in string. For example, we have two operations, which is for example, we have two operations which are string concatenation and string replication. What is string concatenation? String concatenation is like you are joining two strings together. So it's like you are joining two strings together. And string concatenation has one operator, which is our addition operators. So let's see how we can do that. So for example, let's say that we have a string called Python, another string called string. So if you want to join the two together, like Python string. So this plus will join these two strings together. It will join Python with strings and we write it together. And this is it, Python strings. Okay. And also, if we make a variable and if we store our value in a variable, for example, let's say that s1 is equal to Python and s2 is equal to string. So when we add s1 and s2 together, then we will have Python string, something like this. So let's see it in example. Remember that when you are creating a string, you can use a double quotation or a single quotation. But I will always advise you use a double quotation. Okay. And also, you can also create an empty string by using this double quotation with a space in between. So you can create an empty string, okay, with double quotation like this or this one with a space in between. Let's see how that works. So first of all, I create a variable called a, which is Python is, then another variable b, which is a programming language. So if I want to concatenate a and b together, I will do it in this form, a plus b. Remember, we are in string and we are manipulating string. Okay, in the real mathematical world, you can say what is Python plus anaconda. So it's not possible, okay? But here in Python, we can use addition operator to concatenate or to combine our strings together, and this is what we are doing now. So a is equal to Python is a string, don't forget. B is equal to a programming language. So we want to concatenate A and B, which is Python is a programming language. You want to combine them together. So if I run this one now, see what happens. So it has concatenated this. Python is, as you can see, Python is, then another string, a programming language. So it has brought them together. So let's see another example. So in this example, remember, we have created a variable a and b, which helps us to store our values. Python is and a programming language together. All right. So if you have this one now, remember before I said that you can create an empty string by using a double quotation with a space in between. So this is a space in between. So I have this form now. I now have A plus the empty string plus B. So the essence of this double quotation with a space bar or with a space is to have a space in between our concatenated strings. For example, Python is, as you can see, Python is, this is Python is, okay. Then our empty space is what we have here, this one that we have small here, and B, which is a programming language. So if I run this one now, I now have a space in between. But let's say, let's remove this one, although we have done it before. Let's just say A plus B. So if I say A plus B, I will have Python is. Look at the difference. The difference is that this one does not have a space after is here, and this one has a space after is. As you can see, this is space, which makes our text readable, very well readable. But this one is, you can just say Python is a, but this one Python is a programming language. But this one you can read it in this way. Python is a programming language, which does not make sense. But this one makes sense. Python is a programming language. So that's just about that. Let's see another example. In this example, I'm not creating any variable, but I'm using my strings, okay, all together. So I say that my name is Jamal plus, and I am from Somali. I'm from Somalia. My name is Jamal plus I am from Somalia. So the difference between this and the other one is that instead of us to create an empty space in between by using double quotation and a space, we have already done that in this place here. Look at this one here. There's a space here before we write our text, which is this one here. Okay. So when we run this, we have this. Okay. We can also do it in this way by creating a new cell. And let's say, let me just copy what I have here. Okay. My name is Jamal. Okay. Plus, then a space, quotation and a space, and plus. So let me just copy this word here. Okay, remember this is a string. Okay, so before the and here, remember there is no space here. But in this case, before the and, there's a space. All right, so if I run this guy now, I have the same thing with this. All right, with the help of a quotation with a space helps us to have something like this. But if you don't have, because it's not, in fact, it's not even fine to be creating an empty string. Okay, so instead you can just put a space before your text, and that one will make it readable. So that is just about that. Let's another example. In this example, we have three variables. The first one is hello. The second variable is b, which has an empty string with a space, and this one is word. Okay, and now we want to print a plus b plus c. So let's see, the answer will be hello world. All right, so you may want to ask, but this, we didn't write anything here, so what are we having here? So let me just show you. So if you just say what is the type of data type in b, so Python will tell you that it's a string. As you can see, it's a, even though you did not put anything in it. Once you have a quotation automatically that thing becomes a string. So let me delete it. Okay, so we have this. And we can actually do it in this way by saying a, okay, plus an empty string without a variable. So here we have a variable, but here we are not using a variable. And we now have this here and we run it. So we have the same thing. I hope you are enjoying this class. All right, let's continue. In example 5, okay, so we are having it in another way. So here we have hello, but after the hello, we have a space. As you can see, there's a space here, the extra space after hello. So here we have word. Okay, now if I run it now, I have hello world. So I'm showing you different forms at which we can make our string to work and at which we can manipulate our string. So it depends on which one you want to use. You are free to use anything as far as we can get the same answer altogether. As I said that we have two operations in string. So the first one that we just did is string concatenation, where we are combining strings together. So another one is string replication, as the word is replication, which means to replicate something. Replicate something. So for string replication, we'll be using multiplication operator to repeat the number of times a particular string should occur. In the string concatenation, we use the addition operator to combine our strings together. But in the string replication, we will be using multiplication operator to repeat the number of times we want our string to appear. So for example, here I have hello. Remember, hello is a string. And now I have times 3. So which means that I want to repeat hello in 3 times. So therefore, I will now have hello, hello, hello. As you can see, hello, hello, hello. All right. So another example is this. So we have a variable called Sudan. And in this, we want to replicate Sudan in 6 times. And that is why we have this. As I said, it's good to make your code readable. That is why I put a space before the multiplication operator and after the multiplication operator to make it readable. So that is fine, so that your code will be sweet when people are reading it. All right. So here now, look at it. So I have replicated Sudan in 6 times. Can you see? Sudan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sudan in 6 times. Okay, what about this one? Python is simple. If you look at the one we have been doing since morning, you will see that when we are replicating a string, okay, those strings are being written together in the number of times that we want it. Here we have hello in 3 times. So we have hello, hello, hello. So the hello, they are written together in 3 times. The same thing with Sudan. Now, as I said before, here we want a space, okay, in every of our string. Python is simple, it's a string, and we want to replicate this in 3 times. But while doing that, we want a space in every of the string that is being repeated. So what I did here is that after I wrote Python is simple, okay, I quickly created a space here. As you can see, Python is simple. I created a space here. Then I now replicate it in 3 times by saying times 3. And in this case, so I have Python is simple, Python is simple, Python is simple, which is very, very fine. It looks very good, right? Great. So that is it. So another one is this. Here we are doing string replication and string concatenation together. Remember, string replication is when we are using multiplication sign to repeat the number of times at which our string should appear. And string concatenation is where we are using a plus operator to combine our string together. So look at it in this way. So here I say Python is simple. Okay, I put a comma here because that is how I want my string to appear. So let me just do this one here so that you can see what is happening. Okay, so I have this, then I run it. Look at what happened. So for every of my string, I will have something like this. Python is simple, comma, okay, then like a space after that. All right. So now I repeated this in 3 times. So let me just copy this so that you can see what is happening. Okay, this is what we call code testing. We are testing our code before we can now combine it together so that we understand what is really happening. As you can see here, we are saying that Python is simple, Python is simple, Python is simple because we have it, Python is simple times 3. So we are multiplying it, we are repeating it in 3 times, and this is what we have here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then after that, we now introduced a plus operator, which means that to combine whatever we have in this place. And then what are we combining it with? We are combining it with and Python is simple. So if we now run this one here, let me just add it here. Okay. So if I now run this guy here, see what happens. We now have Python is simple, Python is simple, Python is simple, and Python is simple. As you can see, so we introduce string replication and string concatenation all together to bring this is it a sentence? Yeah, to bring these sentences together because okay, no, it's still a sentence because there is no full stop there. Python is simple, Python is simple, Python is simple, and Python is simple. I hope you are enjoying this class. It's actually interesting. So this one reminds us that to concatenate string, we use plus operator, and to replicate a string, we use multiplication operator. In this section, you will learn index and slicing of string. That is, you will know how to index and slice your string in Python. String are ordered sequence of characters. That is, we can select a single characters or grab the subsection of the string. Python index starts with 0. So for example, look at this string, Somalia. The first character here has an index 0. The second character here has an index 1, and so on. With the help of a square bracket, I can easily get any of these characters by using their index. So let's see, for example, Somalia. So if I run this, I have Somalia in this variable country. So if I want to index this x, that is, I want to extract this s out, I will use its index 0. So when I just do like this, country, then a square bracket, the index of s is 0. So if I put 0 inside the square bracket, then I will have that string out, which is s. Okay. If I want to index this, remember, look at this one here. This is 3, and this is the index 3. So what has the index 3? That is A, right? So in that case, if I put 3 in the square bracket, then it will return A for me. So if I run this, then I have A being returned. If I put 5 there, it will return I for me because I has the index 5. So look at it here. That is I. So let's say I create a new cell and then I want to get this M. So to get this M, I will use its index, which is what? 2. So now look at it here. First of all, I will call out the variable name, that is country. Okay, country, that is country, country. Then the index position of M, which is 2. So if I put 2 here now, then I will be expecting what? M. And that is exactly what I have here. Now let's see it clearly. Python has index for any object and also has the reverse index. For example, look at this string, Somalia. The index, as I said before, the index starts with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay? As we have the index that starts with 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on, then we have the other case of it, which we call reverse index. What reverse index helps us to do is that it starts from the end of that object and then go down, down, down to the forward, to the start of the object. For example, look at it here. We have Somalia, which has its index from 0, 1, 2, 3 to 6. And then the reverse index always starts with -1. As you can see, -1, then you continue going back, you see, yeah, then you continue going backward. So this is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, and so on. Okay, so that is how reverse index work. So we can use this either index or reverse index to extract any string position. So let's see this one for example. Look at this country. So we have stored Somalia in the variable country. So if I use its reverse index, which is -1 here, so what am I expecting? I will expect A to come out. So if I run this guy now, as you can see, A comes out because A has reverse index -1. But let's say I don't want to use its reverse index, but I want to use the normal index. So here now, as you can see, A has the index 6. So let's see what will happen. So let's just say the variable, so we call that the variable, and then we use the index 6. So we still get the same answer. As you can see, AA. Reverse index has it as -1 and the normal index has it with 6. So the index here start from the character of the string, the first character, and has it as 0, second character has it as 1, and so on. While the reverse index will begin its own counting from the end of that string, which is A, and then it will assign -1 to it, and then it now continue backward. So which means we have -1 for A, -2 for I, -3 for L, and so on. So that's how that one works. So let's see this one for example. The index -2, which is I. See here, I has its reverse index as -2. So if I do like this, then I get I. Okay, for the -7, as you can see, S has its reverse index as what? -7. So if I run this, I'm going to get this. So that's how that one works. So in the real practice, we always use reverse index. Let's say the strings are so long and you can't just start counting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on like that. You can quickly use the reverse index. Let's say the character you want to extract is at the maybe the second letter to the end of that string. So you can use its reverse index, which will be -2, instead of you counting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on like that. So that is how we use reverse index to do something like that. So let's say I have a big word. For example, let's say I have a string called DD, and I have, okay, I am from Ethiopia. I'm from Ethiopia. Ethiopia. Okay, I'm from Ethiopia, and I live at Addis Ababa. I live at Addis Ababa. Okay, so now if I run this, okay, it has run. Let me create many cells. Okay, I've created different empty cells. Okay, let's say now I want to extract this. So now we have our string as D, which is I am from Ethiopia and I live at Addis Ababa. So let's say that I want to extract this B out. Okay. Remember, as I said, if you start counting from 0, then every space also has their own index. That one is very, very, very important. Please look at this one here. I has the index 0. Then there is a space here. This space too has its own index, which is index 1. So this is I 0, a space, index 1, A, index 2, M, index 3, this space, index 4, and so on and so forth. So now to extract this B, the good method is to use its reverse index. So therefore, I will assign A as the index -1 and B as index -2. So let's see. I just say DD square bracket, then I put -2 there. Then I have my result as B. Okay. So if I want to extract this A here, to the good method is to use reverse index. So this A, capital A here in Ababa, this A, we have what index as reverse index? This is what? This is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So that one we have index -5. There, as you can see now, I have it here. Remember, I said that even the space between the word has its own index. For example, let's do something like this. Let's call a variable, call it space. Okay, A space and B. So let's run it. Remember to create the number, to get the number of character in this string. Okay, we use len function. So here now, what are you expecting as the length of the string? Are you expecting 2 or 3? 2, right? Okay, let's see. Yeah, the answer is 3 because I said that even a space in the middle or in the midst of a string, okay, has its own index, and therefore even a space or any special character, okay, is also part of the string, and therefore index will be assigned to that one too. So here A has the index 0, the space here has the index 1, and the B here has the index 2. Okay, so now let's say I want to extract B from space. Then I will just say space, the square bracket. Then in that case, because I know that this B has the index 2, A index 0, space index 1, B index 2. So I can just put 2 here and I get my answer. And to get this space, the index of this space is what? 1, right? Because A has 0, space has 1. So to get that one, I can just do like this, space, and then I just put 1 there. Then my space, as you can see, there's a space here. So that is the space I was talking about. I hope you understand it. Remember, if a string is very long, to get any character out of that string, you can use the reverse index. And as we said, reverse index starts with -1. But if you are using the normal index starts with 0 because Python index starts with 0. So you then start counting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. You have to learn it by heart, and you learn it by practicing it. So you have to practice it often and often so that it stays in your brain and you cannot forget it again. Okay, Python index starts with 0, and then you start counting it like that, 0, 1, and so on. Reverse index, that is, it starts at the back of the string, and then you assign -1, and then you continue going backward, -1, -2, -3, and so on and so forth. The index helps us to extract any string, any character in that string. The index helps us to extract any character from a string. And since we started this string manipulation, we notice that we can only extract only a character and not more than one. Okay, so to extract more than one character, then we need to learn what we call string slicing. Let's see it. Here is a string slicing. Okay, that one too, we are going to use a square bracket, this square bracket. But one other thing is that it has its own format. So for example, let me create a space here, let me create a cell here. Okay, it has its own formatting. For example, you first of all start with the name of the variable, then a square bracket, then for example, let's say we have a comma b, or sorry, a to b. Okay, so what Python does is that this a, okay, it will start it from this a, okay, and continue to b, but not a b, but a particular number before b. So in that case, we call it b minus 1. Okay, so that is what this one is talking about here. Let's say that you have Ethiopia, for example. Okay, so now you want to extract character from 0 to 3. As I said, it will start from A and end with B minus 1, which means a character before the last one here. That's why we call it B minus 1. So let's say that we have Ethiopia, and remember, Ethiopia has how many characters? So let's use LEN to get the number of characters in Ethiopia. So here, the number of characters are what? 8. So from here now, as I said before, that E has its index as 0, T as 1, and so on. But what we need here is that we need to start from 0 and end at 2, because 3 minus 1 is what? 2. So here we start from 0 and end with 2. So therefore, look at it, 0, 1, 2. So therefore, it will only print ETH for us. So let's see it. So this will only print ETH. So let's say that I want to start from 0 and end with 4. But in the actual sense, Python will start from the first one here, 0, and end with a number before this, which is 3. So in that case, look at it here. So we are counting from 0 to 3. So here is 0, 1, 2, 3. So what Python will print out for us will be ETHI. and that is what we have here. Okay, you know that 0 to 4, okay, in the Python slicing will be 0, 1, 2, 3, and that is what we have here. 0, 1, 2, 3. So if I say 0 to 6, so what Python will print out will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all. So if I say 0 to 2, Python will print 0 to 1 for us. So if you know this thing by heart and by practicing it, you will understand it better. Okay, let's see another example. Here, I have my variable Ethiopia. Sorry, I have my variable country, and I store string Ethiopia into it. But in this case, I want to slice 2 to 4. Remember, as I said, Python will start with 2 and end with what? 3, because 2 to 4 means 2 to 3. Remember, Python will subtract 1 from the end of this 4, and 4 minus 1 is 3. So which means that Python will start with 2 and end with 3. That is why we have I here. Let's see it. This is 0, 1, 2. As you can see, we are starting from these 2 here and then end with 3. So it will only print I out, and this is it, I, like I. So now if you run this guy, you now see I there. Let me give you another example which will make it clearer to you. So let me create different many cells. So I've created many cells here. So I want to say, let's say name. Name is equal to, let's say we have this name called Francisca. Here is Francisca. Okay. Remember, to get the number of characters in this name, you will use len, the len function, len. And therefore, we have how many characters in name? That is 9. So we have 9 characters. So now let's say I want to slice 0 to 2. 0 to 2. In that case, I will do like this, name, then a square bracket, 0 to 2. So what are you expecting? Remember, F is 0, F has the 0 index, R has 1 index, A 2 index, and so on. But for this one, 0 to 2 means that I can use my comment hashtag saying that I'm expecting the index 0, and what? 1. So therefore, Python will only print FR for us. So let's see it. So if I run this guy now, as you can see, Python only prints FR for us. Another example is this. So let's say that I have name. Okay, I want to print 3 to 6. So I can create a comment for me to understand it better. So I can just say, okay, I'm expecting position 3, 4, and 5, because Python will not include the last element here. So it will only include something like -1 out of this one here, which is 6 minus 1, and that is 5. And that is why we have 3, 4, 5. So therefore, if I run this guy now, so it will only start from 3 and end with 5. So here is 0, 1, 2, 3. So it will start from n. Okay, it will start from n and only extract this here. So it will only print NCI. Let's run it, NCI. Great, we have it, NCI, and that is how we can do it. So let's say that, remember I told you, let's say I want to extract this C here. To extract C, we now go back to our former index, that normal index 0, 1, because it's only 1 we needed here. So we only say that, because I don't want to start counting from 0, 1, and so on. Instead, I will use my reverse index. So therefore, A will has index -1, and the C that I want to extract will has index what? -2. You get it? So therefore, I cannot say name, and I put -2 there, and I see my C. All right. I hope it's getting more interesting, right? So that is how Python does it. Then we have some other notations. So for example, if I do something like this, colon 2, colon 2, remember our default is what? 0. Python index starts with 0. Remember that one. So if I don't want to include the start of it, but I want to include only the end, then in your own brain, you will now read it in this way. Okay, because I have omitted the start, so by default, the start will be 0. Then because this is slicing, so I will this one will now read 0 to 2. But in my mind, I'm expecting what? 0 to 1. Oh, great, you get it. Because Python will not include the last one, which is 2 here. So it will only include 1. So therefore, I'm having 0 to 1. So that is what this one does. Okay. So if you have this one here, 1 colon nothing here. So this one means that there is no end there. Okay. It means there is no end there. So what Python will do is that Python will start from our first one here, 1, and then print everything out, starting from 1 to the end. Okay, so these are the notations we can use when we are slicing our string. So let's see it for example now. So let's print the country Ethiopia. We have Ethiopia, okay, and then remember this country has how many characters? So you can just say len country. So which means that all these Python functions, you must not forget about them. You must remember them offhand. So now, here now, I can see it has 8 characters. So there are 8 characters in this string, and I can count it. So to count this one, you start with 1. Don't forget. It is only when you are slicing that you will start with 0. But when you are counting the element, like I'm counting, I'm not indexing, I'm only counting, then I will start with 1. So here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So therefore, I have 8 characters in this. So now I want to slice. As you can see, this one here, we don't have any start. So by default, I can make a comment. So by default, I will have 0. Then it means I need 0 to 2. So which means that Python will now do 0 and 1 for me, because Python will not include the last number, which is 2, but will include the number before that, which is 1. So therefore, I will only expect 0 and 1. I remember this E we have index 0, and this T we have index 1, and therefore when I use colon 2, so I will only expect ET, and this is it. And also I can also do it in this way. I can also say country, okay, use the same thing like, okay, 0 to 2, then I will get the same answer, 80. So some people always like to use this format. Why some people like to use this format? So you must understand the two. They are the same. So if they don't include the start, it means that by default it will be 0. Okay? And when they include it, it will be whatever they include. Alright? Look at this one here. They include the start, which is 1, but they did not include the end. So if they don't include the end, it means Python will take every string, okay, from that, all the strings, starting from 1 to the end. Alright? And that is what we have here as Ethiopia, because Python will start from 1, and here is 1, which is T. As you can see, T, and then it will start from T, which is 1, and then take everything. So that is it. Another example is this. Remember, this one does not have the start. So by default, it will be 0. So Python will start from 0. Remember, it has the end. So if it has the end, what you will do is that you will subtract 1 from it, and that is 2. So Python will start from 0 to 2. So which means 0, 1, 2. And therefore, we are expecting how many letters? 3. And this is what we have. So let's see it here. In the Ethiopia, this is 0. Okay, E, this is 1, and this is 2. And therefore, we are expecting ETH. And that is what we have now. I hope you understand it. Okay, let me give you a word that has spaces in between. So let me call it DD. All right, it's equal to, let me create a string for it. So here, I want to say that I'm from Uganda. I'm from Uganda. Okay, so Uganda. Now I run this one now here, so I can quickly get the number of characters in this string by using len function, len. I put my variable there. So altogether, including spaces, I have 16 characters. So if I want to print this, let's say I want to say dd, let's say 0, let's say 0 to 5. So what am I expecting? Anyone please? Remember, this I, we have index 0. This space, we have index 1, A, index 2, M, index 3, this space, index 4, and so on. So whatever that has all this will be printed out. So in this case here, if you just say you are expecting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you run this, Python will throw an error, because all this, you have to comment them if you want to put a comment for you to understand what is happening underneath. Okay, so I'm expecting string 0. I'm expecting a string that has index 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so therefore, I just do like this. Good. So in the result, I have I am. And let's see how it works. That is index 0, yes. The space here has index 1, all right. So then the A here has index 2, okay, great. The M here has index 3, okay. The M here has index 3, okay. And we also need index 4. So the index 4 here is the space here. And that is why when you look at I am, it has a space underneath. See the space. The space is also printed out. And that is how it is. Okay, let's see another example before we end this session. So I have DD. So you just tell me what the answer will be. So I just say this and 5. What is the answer? Anyone, please? Remember, the default one here is omitted. So by default, Python will take it as 0. So it will now start from 0 and then end with what? 4, because this 5 will not be included. So we are expecting 0 to 4, which is the same thing as this. So if I run this, I get the same. I am with a space. Let's see another example. Remember, you learn by practice. So we have dd, then I have this, let's say 2, and then nothing. I did not put anything at the end. So what am I expecting? So Python will start with 1 and print everything in that string. Okay, so this is what will happen. So Python will start from index 1 and print all other characters. So it will print all other characters. So let's see. Great. So as you can see, it starts with this 1, that is a space, and that is why we have a space here, and print every other thing in that string. Okay, let's see one more other example. So here we have this. Let's say dd, and then we now have let's say, now in this case I want to say this. Here I want to say -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. Let's see if it will work. So I'm starting from -6 and then nothing. So I'm expecting -6 upward. So let's see what if it will work. I'm expecting like Uganda. Oh, great! It works. It works. It works. So remember that here our u, because I'm using reverse index. So a will be -1, d -2, n -3, a -4, g -5, and u -6. So I'm not saying that start from -6 and print every other characters, and that is what we have here. I believe you enjoyed this class. See you in the next section. Bye. Welcome back. In this session, you will learn about different string methods in Python. The last time we learned about string concatenation and string replication. We also learned about different ways at which we can extract character out of a string. Furthermore, we learn about how we can slice elements in a string. So in this session, you will learn about basic methods. Methods is like a function, okay, that string has. So let's say, for example, when you declare a particular string, for example, in this case, I'm saying, hello world, I'm still a beginner Pythonista. So if you have assigned that value into a variable, for example, hello world, I'm still a beginner Pythonista, we have saved this value into a variable called basic. Immediately you call out the basic and put a dot there. So when you press a tab, all the methods that belong to a string will come out. That is, all the methods that this string data type has will all come out. So let's see it in an example. So this is the string, okay, and I have hello world, I'm still a beginner Pythonista. So let me say Pythonistas are those that use Python. Okay, so when you say I'm a Pythonista, it means that I use Python for anything. So if I run this, as you can see, it has run. And I can call out what is in this variable. When I type basic and I run it, you see that I have my string. And as you know, this is a string data type. I can get that by typing type basic. What are you expecting? str, right? Exactly. So to get all the methods that belong to this string, that is, all the methods that this basic has, it can be any variable. So once it is a string, okay, so when you type the variable name and you press a dot, then you press tab on your keyboard. So all the methods that belong to string, generally string, will come out. For example, As you can see, we have capitalize, casefold, center, count, encode, find, format, is ASCII, is decimal, is lower, is numeric, is printable, is title, is also many. There are a lot of methods that belong to string, okay? And that is why when you press a dot, you see all of them at once, as you can see, and then you can scroll to whatever method you want to use. This is what we call method. But before, we have been using function. For example, type is a function. Uh, we also have different functions that we have used before. For example, print is also a function. But this one here, we call it a method because they belong to the object data type. So here is string, okay? And as you can see, we have different methods that belong to this string data type. Okay, so one of them is called dot upper. So what dot upper does is that it will capitalize all your string. It will make it in uppercase. For example, when I say basic dot upper, don't forget you have to press parenthesis, open and close. You close your parenthesis, otherwise you can get an error, or you do like this, basic. So when you press tab and then you can look for upper, as you can see, this is upper has come out. Then you can press enter key on your keyboard. Then you can now uh, open the parenthesis and close the parenthesis. So when you run it now, you see every character that we have in our string has been in uppercase. They have been in upper letter. So that is how it is. So let's see, when we write basic dot upper and we don't close our parenthesis, let's see what will happen. So basic dot upper. So when you press upper, okay, you can just press tab on your keyboard. So it will make everything. That is what we call auto completion. It will complete the code for us. So when you press this one now, let's run it. You see, nothing happens because you are supposed to close that parenthesis. So please have that one in your mind. Whenever you are using any method, make sure that you open the parenthesis and you close the parenthesis. So now I have my result in a good form. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So let's continue. We also have dot lower. So this dot lower, we make your case in lower case. It will make all your string, your characters in lower string, in lower case rather. So when I say basic dot lower, okay, you can press your tab to auto complete it, then open your parenthesis and close it. So this one will make every character in your string to be in lower case. Is that clear? Okay, let's see. You know, before, our basic is written in a good way, like that is everything there is in small letter. Okay, so but when we say dot lower, it will still make everything in lower case. All right, understand that before everything is still in lower. So if you use dot lower, you still get the same result. But let me show you another. Okay, let's finish this one before I show you another example so that you know different methods that belong to a string. Okay, let's see another example. So we have another method called capitalize. What capitalize does is that it will make the first character of your string to be in the upper case. Then all other characters will be in lower case. As you know, when you want to start a sentence in English, the first letter will be in capital letter, while other ones will be in small letter. That's the same thing with capitalize. So let's see, for example, we still use our basic variable. Remember our basic, when I create a new cell, if I type basic, you see what is there. Everything is in small letter, okay, except our I. Okay. So now, if I just say dot capitalize, if I press dot capitalize, see what happen. The first letter in the hello word, I am still a beginner Pythonista. So it make your H to be in capital letter, while other characters will not be in lower letter. And that's exactly what we have here. So don't forget, you learn this by practice. You understand it better by practice. So when you are practicing in your own case there, use any sentence, okay, as a string, and then make sure you use all these methods. So the other one here is called title. What title does is that it will capitalize each word in your string. So each word, as you know, word, that is things that you wrote together. Okay, that is word. For example, I is a word, hello is a word, good is a word, and more like that. So therefore, every word, okay, will be in capital letter. So let's see this one here. Okay, basic dot title. Okay, so the first letter of every word will be in capital letter. As I said, hello is a word, so therefore the H there is in capital letter. The word there, the W there is in capital letter. Hi, capital letter. Ham, A there is in capital letter, and so on. I hope you like it. These methods are very good when you are manipulating your string. So the last one here is what we call split. So what split does is that it will split every character in your string. That is, split method will split each of your word in a string. It will split all of them. So when I say basic does split, as you can see, every other, every method, every word there is split. It's just split it. So for example, hello, comma, word, word, comma, hi, comma, ham, comma, and therefore every word becomes their own string, and then it split it, that it separates them from each other. Welcome back. In this section, we will learn another aspect of a string. So that is, we will learn how to format our string. Sometimes when you are printing a string, you may want to print it in a specific format. So in this case, we will be using the print function. So what print function does is that it will force our string, okay, to make it printed according to the format that we like. So in this case, we will use what is called /n, that is /n. The /n, what it does is that it will print our string into the next line, Let's see, for example, when I say this is a new line, remember everything here is still a string. So I'm saying this is a new line. Look at this one here. I put /n there. That is /n. And then I have another word. Notice how this is on another new line. So what /n does is that the first one here will be printed first. Then the one that begins after /n will now be printed on the new line. So let me run this one for you. As you can see, I have this is a new line. Then in the next line, I also have notice how this is on another new line. You get it? Let me show you with another example so that you get it better. Okay, let's do like this. Let me create a new cell here. So I will use print. Okay, then I have my quotation because I'm still manipulating my string. Look at this one here. I am Ezekiel, for example. I am Ezekiel, then /n, then I can now say I live in Kenya. I live in Kenya. So if I run this now, see what happens. I am Ezekiel. I live in Kenya. So what this last n does is that it will print the next string into another line. I hope you get it now. So in your own case there, do the same thing like this. I am, put your name there, then slash n. I live in wherever country you are, either in Somalia, either in Kenya or Uganda or North Sudan. Make sure you put your own country there and see how it works. Okay. So for the print, we also have another format which we call slash t. Slash t. What slash t does is that it will create some extra spaces. It's like you are pressing tab on your keyboard. You know, on your keyboard, you have a tab key. What tab key does is that it will, by default, create like 4 extra spaces when you press it. Okay, so let's see what we have here. I have a string called this is a tab. Then I also have slash t. Notice how this print with space between. Notice how this print with space between. So if I run this, as you can see, look at some extra spaces here. So slash t helps us to print some extra spaces. Let's try to copy this one here. Instead of n, then we are going to use slash t so that we see how that one will be printed. Then I have this. So I want to remove n to t. Okay, so let's see what happens. You see, I am Ezekiel. Then I have some extra spaces. I live in Kenya. As you can see, this last t, what it does is that it creates some extra spaces. And that is all about string formatting. So remember, in the string formatting, we have slash n. What slash n does is that it helps us to print to a new line. And slash t, what it does is that it creates some extra spaces. Okay, whenever you are using slash t, it means that in your string, whenever you are using slash t in your string, it means that you are creating some extra spaces wherever you see slash t. Okay, the section that we are here now is what is called string interpolation. What do I call it? String interpolation. So what string interpolation does is that, let's say that I have this variable called name of student, and my student is called root, and now I want to print this. Okay, I want to print this maybe for every student, so that whenever I change root, okay, whenever I change this variable to another name, then automatically this thing will be changed. So which means that the variable, the name of the student will be on this placeholder. So this one here is called placeholder. So we have a curly bracket for that. So what this will do is that it will insert root into this placeholder. So I can now be like, welcome root, thank you for taking this course. Okay, so what we do is that after we have put this curly bracket here, then we now put a dot here after the end of our string. Remember, this is a string. Don't forget, you know the string by double quotation or a single quotation. So here now, we have completed our string here, and our string reads welcome, curly bracket, comma, thank you for taking this course. Alright. So to now make this placeholder to work very well, you have to include this dot format at the end of your string. You have to put dot format, and then you put your variable there. As you can see, here's your variable. Is it difficult? Okay, don't worry. I have another short way, but please get this one first, because sometimes another patternista can use this format, and you may be like, oh, my teacher did not teach me this. So that's why I'm teaching you from the hardest part first. Is it clear? Don't worry. We will see short form of it very soon. All right. So we have this dot format. So we have dot format. Then you now put the variable name on it. Don't forget, this dot format is a function, it's a method, and therefore has its own bracket here. See the open bracket and the close bracket. Then our bracket for print, this one has it and it closes it. It closes it. Is it clear? So now let's run this guy. Good. All right. What are we having? Okay, because we have not run this. So let's run this. Name of student. All right. Then we run this. Great. So we now have welcome root. Thank you for taking this course. So imagine if I change this root to maybe Jamal. Jamal. I run this and I run this again. So automatically it has changed root for Jamal. It has changed root to Jamal. Now I have welcome Jamal. Thank you for taking this course. Do you get it? Let me give you another example. Don't forget, you learn this by different examples. So I am giving you more examples, and when you're also practicing it, make sure you have your own example to work with. So let me call this one, let me call it name, for example. Name, or let's say age. Age. So let's say that you are 12 years old, for example. So then I want to say print. Don't forget you have to use print first. And then I put my string there. So in this case, I want to say I am, as you can see, I am. Then my placeholder is this curly bracket here. So therefore, this age will be inserted here. So if this age is inserted here, then we now have I am 12 years, I am 12 years old, for example. Okay, this 12 here will be on this placeholder. But to finish my work, I have to put dot format at the end of this quotation. Dot, then I now say format. Dot format, then I open a parenthesis and I now put this age there. So I put age here, and then that is all. So now, if I run this now, see what happens. Oh, it's telling me age is not defined. So age is not defined means that I have not run my variable age. So let me run it. So now I've run it. Then I hope I run this guy too. As you can see, I'm 12 years old. Great. So let me change this 12 to 17 because Jama is 17 years old. So let me run this. Can you see? I'm 17 years old. So if I change this to 21, see what will happen. Run, run. I am 21 years old. Basically, what we are doing here is called what? It's called string interpolation. So we are changing this placeholder for our variable. So anytime this variable changes, then the sentence here will also change. So let me show you with another example. Let me say my country, for example. My country is South Sudan. South Sudan. Okay, my country is South Sudan. All right. So let me use another one. Let's say my name, for example. My name is, let's say my name is Jamal, or my name is Abdul. All right, my name is Abdul. Okay, I run this. Then I want to interpolate this country name into my sentence. So therefore, I will just do print. Don't forget, we are going to use print. Print. Then what we want to insert into this is this. I am, then a placeholder, that is your curly bracket. I am name, that is I am Abdullahi. So comma, okay. Then let's say I am from comma, because placeholder. So I want to insert my country there. My country is South Sudan. Okay. Then after that, I need to come to the end of this quotation, then and I type dot format because that is the don't forget the format is the method, so I have to end it with my with parentheses. And in that case, now I have two variables, country and name. So therefore, I'm going to put this name and I say comma and I put country there. All right. So if I run this now, let me run it from here. Great. Oh, I have an error. It's saying that country. So there's a problem with country. So let's see what's the problem with the country. Let's see. Okay, and here, let's see. Okay, I'm having an error here. What is the error? Name, key error. See, okay, oh, sorry. If you look at this one here, you will notice that we have name here. Okay, we have name here. So what we do is that this country here, we don't need to put country there. So we are going to remove this. Because what we are basically saying is that in the dot format, name should be inserted in the first placeholder, while country should be inserted in the second placeholder. So if I run this guy now, great, I have my answer. I am Abdul. I'm from South Sudan. As you can see now, it works. So let's change this one to Ethiopia. 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 Okay, the name, okay, let's say that my name is now Getu, for example. So let me rerun it. As you can see, everything has changed because I've changed my placeholder, I've changed my variable names, I've changed the country, and I've changed the name. So therefore, this sentence now reads, I am Getu. I am from Ethiopia. I am Getu. I'm from Ethiopia. So that is how that works. So that is how that one works. Another way, as I said before, is that we can actually use a short form of it. And this short form of it is very simple and fine. So we are going to be introducing what is called F string. What do I call it? F string. So what F string does is that we can immediately put our variable into the placeholder, and that's all. Then we are not going to be using dot format and then be putting those variable names into the dot format parentheses. So this one we are working directly, and that is what I was doing here that made me to have an error, because I did not do it in that good way for the dot format. So let's see this one. Let's see this. So let me say that let me create a cell here. Say name of student, for example. Let's say name of student. Name of student is, let's say, is Getu. Name of student is Getu. Okay. So when you are using F string, this is how it works. First of all, you have to use your print function. Then you are going to include small f here. As you can see, there is f here, so you use small f here. Then you now put quotation in everything. As you can see, all these are quotation, so all these are placed in quotation. Then you now use your placeholder directly and you put the variable name into the placeholder, and that is all. Look at it here. I say hello. Then in my placeholder, so I open a curly bracket. Then I now put my variable directly inside this placeholder, and that is how this one will work. So let's see. Name of student, Getu. Then I can print this. As you can see, hello Getu, thank you for taking this course. So what this one does is that it reads it directly. Hello, name of student Getu. So hello Getu, thank you for taking this course. Okay, and I have that. All right. So let's see another example. So I want to say that henceforth, we'll be using F string for doing string interpolation. The one I did before with the help of dot format, okay, is that in the placeholder, you will not put anything there, but in the dot format, you now put your placeholder, that is your variable. But for the F string, okay, you will directly put your placeholder, that is your variable name, inside the curly bracket, and that is how that one works. So this is very simple. So therefore, henceforth, we'll be using F string. So I have so many examples that will help you to go along with this section. So here I have this. I have this as variable name. Okay. Number one is username. That is Jama underscore CS21. Okay. And the password is 8022021. So what I want to do is that I want to be greeting every student. Okay, I want to be greeting every username and show them their password. For example, Jamal will be having Jamal underscore CS21. So when I'm greeting, I will just say, welcome Jamal underscore CS21, and your password is 8022021. So let's see how this one works. So I will run this. Okay, great. Then I will run this. As you can see, welcome Jamal CS21, and your password is this. So if I change this Jamal, let's say I want to change it to root, for example, root, and then the password of root is, let's say, is this. Root use R8022021. So if I run this, now see how this one works now. So it will change everything entirely. So I now have welcome root CS21, and your password is R8022021. Okay, let's see another example. So in this example, I have name and action. So the name is Jamal and the action is learn. Okay, and I want to print this. Let me remove this. Okay, so here I have F, okay, and the quotation that I want to put all my strings into. So in this case, I'm saying name. Name needs to action Python, and this is what we have as name Jama, and the action is learn. So which means that it will now read Jama needs to learn Python. Let's run this. Okay, it's saying that name action is not defined because we've not run this cell. So let us run it and let's see. Good. Now we now have Jama needs to learn Python. Jama needs to learn Python. So let's see another example. Okay, I'm creating different cells. So let's say that I have programming, for example. Programming programming is because this course is teaching Python. So I just say programming is equal to Python. Then what I will now use as my string interpolation is that, first of all, don't forget we are using F string method. So I will use F, then I now open a quotation. I just say I put my placeholder here. I just say programming, for example. That is the name of the placeholder, programming. So in this case, I just want to say programming is fun. Programming is fun. So if I run this and I run this, see what happens. It says Python is fun. So if I change this programming to another programming in data science called R, then I can run it and automatically it will change. R is fun. Let's say that I want to change this one to uh, JavaScript. JavaScript is another programming language. JavaScript. Okay. So yeah, it says JavaScript is fun. So I hope you are enjoying this string interpolation. Okay, it's actually very simple. Remember, we are using the short form, which is the f string. And in that case, you use your print function. Print f quotation, then you put your stuff there, including the placeholder. While the placeholder will now have the variable that you want to use in it. So that's just it. So this one here, we have name. The name of this person is Adisu. Okay, so this is what we want to do. We want to say, so what print also helps us to do is that instead of us using a string interpolation, we can actually do this. Say print my name is comma, and then you put the placeholder there. That's another format at which you can use the print, because other programmers they can use different ways at which they like. Okay, that is why I'm teaching you different methods so that you understand how we can manipulate string with the help of the print function. So here we have this. Don't forget, this is a quotation. Everything that you want to print out must be in the quotation, then comma, and then the name of your variable, which is name. So therefore, this thing will now print this. My name is Adisu. So if I change this name to, let's say, Abdul. So if I run this, I now have my name is Abdul. So if I change this name to Kawu, for example, so I now have my name is Kawu, as you can see. And also, we can use other format that you know before. That is your F string. So in this case, you can just say print, okay, then your F string, and then you put the placeholder, the quotation there, okay, quotation, and then you put the placeholder. So here you can just say name, okay. But before you can just say my name, my name, my name is name, and this will work. So this will now print my name is Kawu, as you can see. Okay. So this one here, as you know, the quotation here, okay, is for our string. That is my name is, then comma, then you put the name there. That is the variable. So therefore, when you run this, it only run my name is cow. And for the other one here that we use the string interpolation for, okay, it will still do the same thing. So it now depends on which one you plan to use. The example here is just like what you have done before. Okay, so here we have our name as Adisu, and we have the f string. Okay, so if I run this one now, you understand what is going to happen in this case here. So we can also format number with the help of this print function. So here, remember that this one, okay, you need to put f there before it works. You can see f, okay, and now when you run this, it will tell you the number is this, right? Let's say that you want to convert this number into one decimal place. So what we do in that case is that in the placeholder that we have here, you need to use this format, say num, then colon, minus 1f. What minus 1f does is that it will help you convert the number into one decimal place. So if I run this now, remember the number is 245.898343. So if I run this one now, it will now converted it to 245.9. Okay, don't forget the format is this: num colon then dot 1f. That is for the first for the one decimal place. For the second decimal place, it will be dot 2f. So when I run this, okay, I have dot 2f. When I run this again, I have 3 decimal places. And why this one? Because it has 2f. Don't forget the 2f. That is to 2 decimal places. And this one to 3 decimal places. And for 5 decimal places, what are you expecting? So you just put 5 here. Okay, 5 here, and you run it. And therefore, if you count it, this one now is in 5 decimal places. Welcome back. In this session, you'll be learning another function called impute. So with the help of print, okay, we can ask the user of our program a particular question. So the impute function takes answer from a particular user. So for example, if I say impute and I have this one there, what is your name? So see what happens here. So what I do here is that I have name, which is my variable, and I say impute, what is your name? Then I now print it out by using print name. Okay, as you can see, computer is asking me my name and it's waiting for the answer. So here, if I say my name is Jamal, say Jamal for example. So when you are using impute, so by default, the variable will be automatically a string. So when you are typing your answer there, you don't need to put quotation there, because by default, whatever you use, whatever you take from input will be a string data type. So now, if I just press enter now, as you can see, this has printed my name out for me, and that is Jamal. My name is Jamal. Okay, my name is Jamal. So let's see another example. So here, as I said before, that anything that input takes, it will be automatically a string. So here I have a variable called name, and from there I have the input. Then the input now is asking what is my name. Okay, so it saved it in the variable name, and then I use this print to print it out. Then after that, I now ask what is saved in this name. That is, what is the data type of name? So let me run it and see the answer. What is your name? So here, my name is Ruth, for example. As you can see, it printed out my name for me because I've said print it. So this has printed it out. And now the type name is now bringing my data type, and which is a string. So let me show you another example where I code by myself. So here I'm saying country. So the country, so I want to take the answer from my user, and I use this input. Then I just say, what is the name of your country? What is the name of your country? So what is the name of your country? All right. And then whatever I get, I want to print it out. So I just say print country, for example. So if I run this, you will see that computer is asking me what is the name of my country. And let's say that the name of my country is, for example, Nigeria, because I like Nigerians and I would like my country now to be Nigeria. Okay, so if I run this now, you will see that it has taken the answer from me and now printed it out. So therefore, I have uh, the country Nigeria printed out. I have the country Nigeria printed out. Let's see another example. So in this example, we are printing what is your name, and from there we want to say that my name is whatever we take. So in this case, we are now using string extrapolation. Don't forget, this is our F string. So here is another example. So what we are doing here is that we are taking what is your name. that this computer is asking what is your name. So whatever answers that it receives will be stored in the variable name. Okay, and we are also using string extrapolation to read my name is name. So whatever name you supply, so this will take it and print it out and say my name is, for example, Ruth. My name is Ruth. Okay, so we also have another string extrapolation where we are having name, which is Ruth in the case of if I supply Ruth. So it now be Ruth is of type string. Now in this placeholder, look at what is happening here. I put type. Type is helping us to get the data type that this name has. So therefore this is a string. Remember this is string. So this one will now read root is of type string. So let's see how it works. What's your name? Just say root. Or when you are doing it in your own case, make sure you use your own name. Okay? Me, I'm free to use anything I like. Okay? So here, as you can see automatically, I have my name is root. Root is of type character. As I said before, whenever you are using input to take information from the user, okay, so that variable will be automatically a string. Don't forget that. So here, I want this program to ask for your name, your age, and your country. Then it will now print whatever you supply. So let's see. Let's run it. What is your name? My name is Abdul. My name is Abdul. How old are you? Wow, I'm 17 years old. 17 years old. As I said, you don't need to put quotation there. Okay. What is the name of your country? The name of my country is Somalia. Somalia, as you can see, Somalia. Now, I now have my sentence printed out. My name is Abdul. I am 17 years old. I am 17 years old. Oh, as you can see here, because that's what I typed. So if I want to do that one here, I can just remove this guy here because already I'm supplying 17 years old on that. So I can so that I will not have wrong sentence like this. Okay, so let me rerun this guy. What is your name? Abdul. How old are you? 17 years old. What is the name of your country? Somalia. So now I have this, as you can see, my name is Abdul. I'm 17 years old. I'm from Somalia. I hope you are getting it. So here now, we are now using everything you have planned so far. Input is a new function that I just introduced, which helps you to take information from the user, okay, and the string interpolation help us to put whatever variable we take from that and put it in the placeholder with the help of f string, and that's all. So let's see another example. So here is still what you have done before, like okay, when you use print, okay, and say comma, then the variable name. So for example, my name is Adisu, okay, and this another one that we have done, say my name is Adisu, the same thing but we use different way to do that. Okay, so let's see another example, a final example where we take information from the user. So let's just say course. The course you are doing here is computer science 2. Computer science 2, for example, computer science 2 course, or let's say programming in Python. The name of this course is programming in Python. Okay, programming in Python. All right. So let's say your name. So in this case, my name is. So I choose to bear Ezekiel this time around. So try to change it to your own name, Ezekiel. Then my country, I would like to use because I like America. I would like to say my country is America. Or don't worry, let me say my country is Sudan. My country is South Sudan. South Sudan. Okay, and let's say my gender, for example, I'm a male. I just say male. Male. Okay, so to be on the safe side, you can just run this guy. Now, I want to do some string interpolation in this case here. So don't forget I will use print, okay, the F string and then the quotation. Okay. So here I want to say my name is my name my name is my placeholder. So the placeholder here for my name is what? Name. Great, you are getting it. Name. My name is this, okay. Then I am taking I am taking so the name of the course, you can put it there, say course, for example. Okay, I'm taking course. Okay, then I can just say I am from, so put the placeholder there. From which country? So you can just say country here. Okay, and I am a, so whatever gender you are, so you just put it there, yeah, gender. So this is very good, and now we are done. So when I run this guy now, see what happens. It says my name is Ezekiel. I am taking programming in Python. I am from South Sudan and I am a male. So if I change anything here, let's say I change this one to Ruth. Don't forget Ruth is a female and Ruth is from Uganda. Ruth is a female and Ruth is from Uganda. So in this case, I need to put uh, Uganda here. Uganda. Okay, I just run this and I don't need to change anything here. So I just run this and I have the same result. My name is Ruth. I am taking programming in Python. I am from Uganda and I am a female. Wow, this is cool. So now let's use another example for where we are taking information from the user. Okay, so here I want to say name. Okay, so this name will now be, I will just say input because I want to take information from the user. So input is a function. Then I can just say, what is your name? What is your what is your name? What is your name? For example, okay, I have another variable called course, which will take the name of the course that this person is doing. So I just say input. So I can just say, what course are you taking? What course are you taking in the NOFIC course, in the NOFIC program? What course are you taking in the NOFIC program? Okay, great. So now I have this one. What is it? I have your country. So I can just say country. Okay. So yeah, I can just say input. I want to take this from the user. Okay, what is your country, for example? What is your country? Or what is the name of your country? What is the name of your country, for example? What is the name of your country? Okay. What is the name of your country? Then, then for the gender, I can ask input. Okay. I can just say, what is your gender? All right. What's your gender? So since I'm asking question, it is good to put what is it, question mark for every question that you are asking. Okay, so I have all this. Okay, I don't want to print now. Okay, so that's, I don't want to print now. So what can I do? Let me click stop. Okay, yeah, I don't want to run it now. So then at the end of everything, I want to print all this out. Just say print. Okay, with depth of f string. So then I have this. I have this. So I want to say my name. My name is, all right. Whatever you take, that is name. Okay. Then I am taking, so whatever course you are taking in this program. So you can put course there. Okay. I am from the name of your country. You put it here. That is country. Whatever country you receive from the user. I am from country then, and I am so whatever gender that the person supply, it will be put here. So let's see how it works. Great. So what is your name? So let's say my name is Abdul. My name is Abdul. What course are you taking in the NOVIC program? So I'm taking programming in Python. Programming, programming in Python. Oh, great. So what is the name of your country? So I'm from Somalia. Somalia. What is your gender? I'm a male. Great. Then you now see all these things. My name is Abdul. I am taking programming in Python. I'm from Somalia and I am a male. I hope you enjoyed this session. It's actually a good one. So in summary, in this section, we learn different ways at which we can manipulate our string. We also learn different methods for string, such as upper, lower, title, split, and so on. We also learn how we can format string, and we also learn different ways at which we can interpolate a string. And also we learn how we can take information from the user by using the input function. And we have come to the end of this session. Bye.